He said, out of it flows what? The issues of life. What does that say? What do we mean by the issues of life? What you become eventually. Your productivity eventually. That's what it is. So the Bible said, guide your heart. You see, this heart, what we are talking about in Heartformation, we are still going to get there. It might not be today. I'm just doing an introduction of the heart. Why it is important for you. What is the necessity of this kind of workshop. That's what I'm just talking about. The main essence of Heartformation is, okay, pastor, reverend, we have had everything now. I'm even scared. What do we do? That is now the work of Heartformation. We're still going to get there. It might not be today. You understand? Because your heart is what determines who you will become eventually in life. The state of your heart is going to determine your productivity eventually. That's why the Bible said, guide it with all diligence. Because it is in your heart, not your brain. I've seen a lot of qualified people. They have certificates. Nobody wants to try them. They don't want to give them the opportunity, even to demonstrate what they know. And some people, they even have the opportunity to demonstrate it. Everything they are doing turns the other way around for them. And there is a guy, they said he has third class in living. And anywhere he goes now, everybody wants to go for him. So when we are in school, he has third class. It is the heart of that man. He said, guide your heart with all diligence. Out of it is going to flow the issues. What are the issues of life? Talking about the productivity. He said, everything, your productivity in life will come from your heart. Because you see, you can be doing something fantastically, but if the heart that is attached to it is wrong, nobody will even appreciate it. I've seen a lot of people that have called me. One guy called me and said he wanted to give me a job. And after a while, I attended him and some things like that. And the guy called me back. He said, do you know the reason why? He said, even keep the money. I'm not even ready. Maybe 2 years when I'm ready for the transaction, I'll go. But keep it. He said, I like you. He said, do you know this thing in Lagos? I said, I've heard about their name before. He said, they are so rude. So see the way they do this. And these are like very popular people that does the same business that we do. They are doing wonderfully well as far as I know about them, because I had a relationship with one of them, one of the partners. But their attitude, which flows from the heart. You know, when somebody comes to you and when you are looking at that person, you just use your eyes to bring that person down. Say, who is it? Sit down there. Say, call me back, I'm busy now. It's from the heart. That one, nobody teach you that in school. That's the state of heart of that man. And the guy told me, he said, the reason why he want to collect everything from them and just dump it with me, he said, maybe 2 years, if he has time, he will come and do. He's not even interested now, but he want to make sure he collect everything from them. He said, because of the attitude of those people. Your productivity in life, it comes from the heart. So the Bible said, the heart is so delicate. He said, now guide it. That's another topic entirely. This is saying, we can work on our heart. That's saying that. He said, guide it with all diligence, because it will determine your future. So we can also work on it. Look at Proverbs 23 verse 7 also. He said, for as a man thinketh in his head, no, in his heart. You know, until God gave me this revelation, they used to tell us when we are small. They will say in my language that go and think in your head. But later I know that you think in your heart, not in your head. They will say lorori inu no ma ro won lori. Because the productivity comes from the heart, not really the head. You see, if it is a amount of what we have put in our head in this life, we are not supposed to be where we are. You put knowledge here. At most, the essence of it goes into the mind. Welcome, Pastor. The essence of it goes into the mind. But except that knowledge finds its way into your mind and goes into your heart, it will not do you any good in life. Have you not seen a professor talking and is speaking jargons? Have you not seen a lawyer analyze it and say, and this one go to school? How are you doing like this? I thought they said you are learning fellow. You see, your productivity does not come from the brain. It comes from the heart.
Amen.
What you will become, that's why people will cram and write it down. What comes from the brain, when it is excess, it goes to the mind. The mind is the storehouse of the brain. But the one that will be productive, that you will do passionately, that you will do when they wake you up, you will do it. You don't need to say, bring my textbook. That's why a lawyer go to a trolley to the court. That one is still in their head. They carry trolley and follow them. Abi, madam? That one is still in their head. That's not gone to their heart. But when it comes to their heart, when you wake them up, they analyze it for you. It has migrated to a place that has become a part of them. Productivity comes from the heart, not from the brain or mind. You know that a man is a spirit that has a soul that lives in the body. Your brain, when you read, it goes to the brain. When it's plenty there, it's settled to the mind. The mind is different from the heart, sir. The mind is just a storehouse of the brain. So you have all these intellectual things there, but that's why a lot of people, they know so many things, but it doesn't have effect in their lifestyle. It doesn't take them anywhere. So that's why if you tell me somebody is a tattered purchaser, it doesn't treat me. I want to see his performance. You understand what I'm saying? Because your brain and your mind doesn't really have anything to do with your productivity, except that knowledge has migrated to the heart. Because it is from the heart that we have compassion. It is from the heart that we have passion for the job we are doing. It is from the heart that you do things that, you see, I'm sweating now. How many people is there? If you are one, I will sweat. Because it's from the heart I'm speaking, not from the brain. It is the heart that brings productivity. The brain just stores things, excess of it goes to the mind. Your productivity comes from your heart. It's actually not from your brain or from your mind. You know what I remember? Why is it that engineers, they will still call the layman in that field to come and do their work? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. I've even seen people, they say, I'm an automobile engineer. Automobile engineering, read automobile engineering, and he cannot change the tire of his car. He will still go to the layman to do it. You see, all those ones is just in his head. But you see, the man, that layman there, he did not learn it through the head. He learned it through the heart. As he was doing it, he was falling in love with it. He was doing it every day. It becomes part of him. We will still get there. I will tell you the channel to your heart. The fastest way things can go into your heart. I will tell you later. It might not be today, of course. But what am I saying? Productivity comes from the heart of men. It doesn't come from the brain. That's why when some people speak, you say, will you believe that man is a doctor? In fact, doctor in English. He's the one talking. It's not his fault. What he has gone to study in school is not in his heart. Most especially when you even go and study a course that you don't like. It is mommy and daddy that say, do it, do it. He will come out with first class. That's no problem. You need to cram and write it down. But tell him to come and practically do it. You know, we have seen people, they say it's first class, and they'll bring it to the bank, and they'll say, you go and do this thing. And you'll be crying the second day. Why? He said the figures are too much. Say it does not balance. You read statistics 2-1. Some people say they have masters. And you give them a little thing to do, they'll have problem. Because all they are going to do in school is thing of the brain and the mind. It doesn't really have much to do with what they do. And you see a lot of people that they are just average students in school, but you put them in the job, man, they are wonderful. It's because even though they have 2-2 or 2-3, if there is 2-3, if they have it, they love what they are doing, they are passionate about it, and they can do it practically. You will see it. Why? It's coming from the heart. The passion is not in the brain, sir. It's in the heart. Love is not in the brain, it's in the heart. And anything that is not done in love, it is not acceptable before God. We'll get there. Let me make progress now. Are you getting blessed already? So Proverbs 23 says, for as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Can you see now? You know that the emphasis of the second one is saying your heart is going to determine who you become eventually in life. The first one The Bible said, guide it. Because out of it will flow the issues of life. That means your productivity in life, it is going to come from your heart. I'm sorry to disappoint you. It won't come from your certificate. Except you have made your certificate to find its way to your heart. Is somebody getting that? It is possible that you made your certificate to pass the head, the mind, and flow into the heart. Then it will be productive. But if you allow the certificate to stay only here and a little in the mind, it cannot bring issues of life. God can't work with it. That's what I'm saying. Because God lives in the heart. And unless you merge it with God, that's when God can work with it. These things, I'm just going into some things. It's a lot of things. So Proverbs 23 also is now saying that for as a man thinketh, this is more clearer. You know, the first one says issues of life. This one now said, as you think, so you become. It's scripture, not me. Proverbs 23:7. How many people believe in the Bible here? Praise God. Proverbs 23 said, as a man think, so he will become. So it is not as a man wish. Because if wishes are horses, it is beggars that will ride. So it is not enough to wish. You now see the reason for meditation. Meditation is scriptural. You need to find time to be alone and allow what you have in the brain and in the mind, let them have their way into your heart. That's what meditation does. Don't let it just stay here alone. If it doesn't find its way into your heart, God can't work with it. So what we do in meditation is to allow what we have had, we have been considering, let it sink down into the heart. Then God will work with it. Because God lives in the heart of man. And except what you have learned in school, get to the place of God, God can't work with it. So we just be in your brain and at most the storage place, which is the mind. So the Bible did not say guide your head. It did not say guide your mind. It said guide your heart. With all diligence. Out of it flows the productivity of your life. And the second one said, the way you are thinking. It's amazing. He said, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So the state of your heart determines your future. And it is not a fluke. I understand the way it works. Let me go there, because these are the things we are supposed to teach later. You know how it works. Why that as a man thinketh, so is he. It's not a fluke. It is because the heart is where you think. And the heart is where God is. So the creative energy lies there. Are you getting it? The creative energy that makes what you are thinking come to pass is right in the heart. Because God lives in the heart. So that's why the Bible said, as a man thinketh in his heart, not thinketh in his head. Because if you think in your head, the creative energy is not in your head. The God that will create it doesn't live in your head, sir. It doesn't live in your mind. It lives in the heart. So when the Bible said, as a man thinketh, so is he. What he's saying is that whatever a man has taken to the bosom of God, which is the heart of man. Because God, how many people believe that God lives in our heart? Praise God. So if God lives in your heart, what is that saying literally is that whatever you have brought into the place of God in you, so you become. Is it getting clearer? So God lives in the heart of man. So that's why I say, as a man thinketh, that is, whatever a man has brought to my notice, whatever a man has brought to me in him, that he did not only put it in his head, he did not only put it in his mind, but he has brought that thing to his heart, which is my abode in him. Definitely, we are going to create that thing for him. Because the creative energy of every man is in the heart. You see, when the English people say, you need to have passion about it. You need to have passion about it. They are tapping into the scripture. Because you can't have passion unless that thing enter your heart. Are you getting it? Passion doesn't come from the head. What I'm saying that I'm sweating now, another person will just come here now and say, if you look at it, if you check it, he's an intellect. He has a lot of things in his brain. But you can't put passion into it because it doesn't run into the heart. You understand what I'm saying? It is what goes to your heart that you can put passion into. A lot of people are practicing a profession because of the money and because they have spent years in school. But in their heart, they actually didn't love that thing. That's why you will see a professor. I don't want to use lawyer again. That's why you will see a professor. That's why you will see a professor. And by the time when you get to his house, you will be surprised that he has a sewing machine. I said, Daddy, what is it? I'm practicing running. You know what he's doing? He's fulfilling destiny. Praise God. You don't get it. The man is a professor. Everybody call him professor. When he gets to school, they say professor. But what his art is calling for is that small thing he put at the corner of his room. Yeah. That's where it's fulfilling purpose. Because anything he does until he sat on the sewing machine and they say, Daddy, this year and this year, they say, I'm enjoying it. He's fulfilling destiny there. Praise God. But when he's in school, even when he's teaching, that's why they fail people. Even when he's teaching, his eyes is red. So, come, why are you coming late? Come, sit down there. He's not happy. If maybe somebody just advise him, go and read English, and he read English, say, why will you work English? You better go and do it, be a professor so that you'll be a lecturer. You just find his way there and become a prof. But he's not passionate about it because it doesn't come from the heart. Everything is in the air. So when you want to come to class, he just open a textbook and 3 pages, do photocopy, give it to the class governor, and he will read it, everything, or put it on slide for them, and that's it. And we still have the same set of professors in school that they will still call people to the office and say, what is the problem about the course? You are not doing well. As a man that is called for that profession. But when a man does too anyhow, it's because it's not his fault. Because that is not his purpose. Praise the Lord. So I just want you to know that these two areas are very important. What we are looking at is why the heart. Why heart formation? What is so important that a ministry will be called heart clinic? Because it's a serious issue. It's something that we need to check. That the state of our heart, if it is what God is going to mark for us, if it is what is going to make me eventually in life, then I think it's worth devoting all, going all the way for. So we have seen now that our heart is going to determine who we become eventually. And I want you to know just two things, that even though it's going to be a topic later on, he said we should guide it. That is a pointer that you can do something about it. The fact that we said, okay, the state of heart and all that, doesn't mean that, okay, this is the way, this is the way they trained me, this is the way they do in our village, this is the way I've been born, and so I just go like that. No, you can work on it. That's why we said it's heart formation. That is, well, fine. Now that we have known the importance of the heart, now that we have known that heart is a demand from God, Pastor, what can I do to align my heart so that it will be acceptable before God and so that it will pave way for a life of fulfillment? That's the essence of heart formation. Let me tell you some things. From my discussion, you see that I've been mentioning heart, love, compassion, and all that. Let me tell you what the heart represents. The heart of a man, that's where we find love. We don't love with our brain. We don't love with our mind. We love with our heart. So, where love is in man is inside the heart. You can begin to match some of the things I've been saying. When a person loves you truly, you are in the mind of that person, in the heart of that person, sorry. When there is no love, whichever way, then you are not in the heart of that person. Where I came from, when people, when they want to seek assistance or they want to remind you of something, they say, put me in mind though. Because they understand all these things. Say, I hope you still have me in mind. In heart, sorry. Because they say it in our own language, which is the heart. But the English we say in the mind. The mind is wrong. When they put you in the mind, in fact, it's more dangerous. You know why? Mind is a storage place for every information that is coming to the brain. The brain doesn't have, it cannot contain so much, so it stores it in the mind. The mind is where the brain will pick those information again. So when somebody puts you in the mind, it's dangerous because it can be congested. But when they put you in the heart, it has gone to a place of love. See, when a man says I'm busy, it's because love is not there. No matter how busy it is, whatever he loves, he creates time for it. Do you believe that? Yes. So when somebody is still telling you I'm busy, some of us are still telling God we are busy. It's like God is in your mind, not in your heart, you know. If God is in your heart, you create time for him. That's it. That's it. If it is the heart that God lives in you, then you create time. So one of the first components, one of the first things that we have in the heart of man is love. Love doesn't come from the brain. Love doesn't come from, you know, there are a lot of things that keep coming to mind these days, and I just wonder, why do I forget? Why do I just... It's like those things are not really priority. They didn't come with love or passion, so that's why. Because now, there is a bond that comes with love, that no matter how long, when people still say, oh, I can't recognize, are you the one in class C and all that? It's a lie. You see, if he sees his mother's brother or whatever, that he has not seen before, when he sees, he recognizes. Because once love is involved, it goes into the heart. The place where love sits in us is the heart. Desire comes from the heart. Desire also lives in the heart. Desire doesn't come from the brain. It doesn't come from the mind. Your desire is in the heart. If you look at desire, it's very close to love too. But I want this. That's why, no matter what, this is what I want. You eventually got this thing because that thing, he has fallen in love with it. Somebody said, I love bears. And it's the truth. Yes, I know you love bears. Praise God. And it's the truth. No matter the circumstances, if you give him another one, can't we get bears? Like when I want to buy my car now, Pastor can say, he will show me something, but can we look for Corolla? Praise the Lord. Because I'm falling in love with it. So your desire also stays from your heart. It doesn't matter. And can I just shock you a little? Do you remember I talked about creative energy? If you love it, you will have it. Mm-hmm. If you desire it, sir, you will have it. There was a time I remember I bought a car, as all my friends that are around me said, you got this car eventually, because I've been talking about the car 10 years. And the day God will bring the car was just passing. Let's check this one. It was a fulfillment, because when the car came out 10 years, when they were giving our AGMs that time, I just fall in love with that car. And 10 years after, I bought it. That is desire and love, sir. I should have gone for something higher or another, but because I love that car, my desire was still for it. It wouldn't have been in my brain, it's in my heart. And I said, when you love it, if you desire it, you will have it. Why? It's in the heart that you desire it. And I said there's something in the heart that is called creative energy, because they are both of God. The third one is feelings. Our feelings come from the heart. Our feelings come from the heart. It doesn't come from the brain. It doesn't come from the mind. I hope I'm not saying too much. Then the next one is emotions. These are the things that make you and I. It's really not your certificate or how hardworking you are. When you don't take care of these ones, you don't discover that you are laboring. You don't discover that the certificate is not bringing what you should expect. What's happening? Why is my boss not loving me? Why is my customers not coming? Why is it that they're not giving me an opportunity? Fine, you have good certificates. You are very eloquent. You went to Harvard. But these ones, you have not taken care of it. And another person doesn't have all those certificates. But this one is intact. And the man is going pia. And one fool will now go and say, look at that boy. He had to class when we were in school. He doesn't know anything. but he mastered his heart. Praise the Lord. So we have emotions. Your emotions come from your heart. That's why it's everybody. We need to actually work on our emotions too. Because your emotions goes a long way to bring forth who you become. They are what makes you today. They are the thing, all these things I'm talking about, they are the things that put together and get you to where you are now. If you will go higher, this is what you are going to arrange. If you will remain the same, check this one also. If there is anything like a downward turn, check this one also. Your emotions and your feelings, they are in your heart also. All these things, they come from the heart. The way you feel. And that's why we are so sensitive. If somebody just said something and touch something in your heart, it will show in your face. It's showing your next word. The next word you want to say, you will reconstruct it. Because they have touched your heart. It's very sensitive. If they have touched your brain, it might take time. You understand? If they touch your mind, it might take time. Because that one needs processing. I will get to the topic where I will compare mind and heart for you. You see, the only way why your mind can bring you productivity, it takes a lot of work to bring what you have in your mind or your brain to pass. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the difference. If somebody says, oh, but I've gone to school and I'm using my certificate, you will see that it will take a lot before you can convert what you have in your brain to results. But if it finds its way into your heart, consciously, unconsciously, you see that it's working out for you. You will love to do it. That's why, because I have some people that they will say, no, it's not the money. I'm just interested in your matter. Come to my office. Have you seen that? He said, no, forget the money. Say, I don't have your kind of money. He said, forget the money. They must not punish you. Just come. I'm interested. And there's another one. You say, oh, God, they have arrested my uncle 4 days. I said, we are coming. When we finish from Ikoyi, we are coming. It's money that person doesn't have interest in that job. It's the money. Have they credit our account? How many alert has dropped? If the third one didn't drop, don't go. Let him stay there. You know, I have a brother like that. He said, he said, since when? He said 7 o'clock. When he drops, he will use 3 days. They have not paid me. That's the lawyer. He said just 7 o'clock. He will use 3 days there. It is the money. The job is not in the heart. It is the money. So your emotions, your feelings, your desires, your love, everything is in the heart. And they are what make you eventually. It's not really the mind. Yes, we have affections also. Affection comes from the heart. Your affections come from there. That's why some people, they will hurt you severally, you still keep loving them. It's the heart. The heart. And when it goes to the heart, it's always very difficult to pick out. When things enter your heart, it's always very difficult to pick out. Because the heart is the main place, is where we have the energy, the power, God, the creativity, the Holy Ghost and all that. It's the main thing. So when anything enters the heart, it's in those people that are, you see, you know the Bible said the children of this world, they are wiser than even the children of, you see, they know all these things even though they don't come to church. Haven't you heard the song, Find the Way to Your Heart? They know that, just let me find my way to that heart and I will be good. Either good or bad. Because if anything that enters the heart, you just, even when it does bad, you just be loving it. When it does, if you still love it, say, hey, what do we do? He has loved that person. That's why it's not difficult to sack employees, you know. It's not difficult because you don't love them. It's a contract. Work for me, I work for you. You misbehave, I sack you. But when they begin to call you and say, what you did yesterday, your boss has started loving you. Because it doesn't need story. Work for me, I work for you. These are the rules. You touch this place, you are gone. You don't touch this place, you are promoted.